Come to the next question. He said to me, comma, within quotations, may God bless you. Now, may God bless you. Now, God may bless you or may God bless you? God may bless you means that becomes a doubt. God may or may not bless you. You must say, may God bless you. May God bless you is a wish, a desire, or a prayer. Now, a wish, a desire, or a prayer. May God bless you means like I wish God blessed you, or I pray that God bless you, or my desire is that God should bless you. So may God bless you is a wish, a desire, or a prayer. Now, a wish, a desire, or a prayer is termed as an optative sentence. O-P-T-A-T-I-V, optative sentence. No change in the rule and all. The rules remain the same. The only thing is, it is termed as an optative sentence, right? Now, he said to me, may God bless you. As it is a wish, said to changes to wished. He wished to me is wrong. It must be he wished me. So, he said to me, comma, within quotations, may God bless you. The same rules I said. May changes to might. Now, this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, I told you, said to becomes wished. He wished me that. He wished to me is a wrong usage. He wished me that. May becomes might. Might God or God might? We have discussed this rule many times, in fact. This is not an interrogative sentence. If it is not an interrogative sentence, the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. That is a rule. If it is not interrogative, the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So might God is wrong. It must be God might. He wished me that God might bless or might blessed. Bless is V1 plural. Blesses is V1 singular. V2 is blessed. V3 is also blessed. As you know, there is nothing like might plus V2 or might plus V3. It is always might plus V1 plural. So God might bless. He said to me, so you changes to me. He wished me that God might bless me. So said to changes to wished. Then may changes to might. God might. This is not an interrogative sentence. So the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. The noun here is God. Might is the auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb is coming after the noun. Grammatically correct. Might bless. Bless is V1 plural and is always might plus V1 plural. So he wished me that God might bless me. Got it? Got it? Come to next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, good morning, comma, and said, comma, within quotations, you have performed well. Come to the first part of the sentence. He said to me, comma, within quotations, good morning. Now, good morning is a wish. Good morning means, may you have a good morning. Good afternoon means, may you have a good afternoon. Good evening means, may you have a good evening. Good night means, may you have a good night, good sleep. So, good morning is a wish. So, said to changes to wished. Now, my question is, should it be, he wished me good morning or he wished me that good morning? Now, it is always termed as that clause. It's always called a that clause. You know what a clause is. We have gone for it in detail in the topic conditional sentences. Clause is subject plus predicate. Subject must be there, predicate also must be there. And you know what a predicate is. When you leave the subject, the rest of the sentence is called the predicate. That means the part excluding the subject is termed as a predicate. So it is always termed as a that clause. That means after that, a clause must be there. A subject must be there, a predicate also must be there. If you check all the examples I gave, after that a clause will be there. Now come to the previous statement here. Come to this one. He wished me that God might bless me. He wished me that. And I said, after that one clause will be there. Subject will be there, predicate also will be there. He wished me that He wished me that God might bless me. The subject here is God. The subject here is God. The predicate here is might bless me. So God is a subject here. Might bless me is the predicate here. So subject and predicate. God might bless me can be called a clause. So after that a clause must be there. Subject and predicate. Come to the statement. He wished me that good morning. That good morning in the sense there is no subject here, and there is no subject, no predicate. So in this case we cannot have, or we don't have a clause after that. So we cannot use that in this statement. It is he wished me good morning. That cannot be used because after that there is no clause here. It's always called a that clause, and as I said, after that one clause must be there. There's no clause here, so this sentence becomes he wished me. That cannot be used because of no clause. He wished me good morning. This is fine. Right? He wished me good morning. So the first part is done. Now come to the second part of the sentence. And said, comma, you have performed well. You have performed well. Have performed is have plus V3. And have plus V3 is termed as present perfect. It's present perfect. According to the rule, present perfect becomes past perfect. Said becomes said that. Right? So he wished me good morning, and said becomes said that, and said that you changes to I because he said to me. So you becomes I, and said that I had performed well. And said that I had performed well. Now I had performed well. Had performed is had plus V3 past perfect. So he wished me good morning and said that I had performed well. Present perfect became past perfect. Just go according to the rules. That's it. Got it? Come to the next one. So this is about an optative sentence. A wish, a desire, or a prayer. A wish, a desire, or a prayer is termed as an optative sentence. Come to the next one. As I said, wish, desire, or prayer is called an optative sentence. He said to me, comma, within quotations, let's go to a movie. Now, let's is always for a suggestion. Let's is always for a suggestion. Let's is a short form of let us. Let is a short form of let us. And as I told you, let's is always for a suggestion. Now, in the case of a suggestion, now said to changes to suggested to. I told you this. He suggested me is a wrong usage. It must be he suggested to me. Let's is always for suggestion, and let's is let us. Now, in the case of a suggestion, let changes to should, us changes to be. Repeat, in the case of a suggestion, let changes to should, us changes to be. So let's go to a movie is a suggestion. So this must be the order. Said to becomes suggested to. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes he suggested to me. He suggested me is a wrong usage. He suggested to me that. He suggested to me that. I told you, let becomes should, us becomes we. Should it be should we or we should? Should we or we should? This is not an interrogative sentence, so the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So it cannot be should we, it must be we should. He suggested to me that we should go to a movie. He suggested to me that we should go to a movie. So as I said to changed to suggested to, let became should, us became we. This is not an interrogative sentence. The auxiliary verb is coming after the pronoun, grammatically. This is about a suggestion. Come to the next one. He said, comma, let's go to a movie. The same sentence, suggestion. Now as I said to, I told you at the beginning as well, said to becomes suggested to. Said to changes to suggested to. Said changes to suggested that. Said to becomes suggested to. Said becomes suggested that. That is the rule. Now come to a statement once again. He said, comma, let's go to a movie. This is a suggestion. Said changes to suggested that. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he suggested that. The same rule, let becomes should, us becomes we. He suggested that we should go to a movie. He suggested that we should go to a movie. It's always should plus V1 plural. There's nothing like should plus V2 or should plus V3. Should plus V1 plural, like should come, should sit, should stand, should go, etc. Go is V1 plural because no S, no ES, no IES. So he suggested that we should go to a movie, grammatically. Getting it? Come to the next statement. He said to her, comma, let's take rest. Suggestion, said to changes to suggested to. So this sentence in indirect speech becomes, listen, he suggested to her that. Suggested her is a wrong usage. He suggested to her that. He suggested to her that they should take rest. He suggested to her that they should take rest. Now you compare the first sentence with the third sentence. And if I say, we are in the classroom, right? We are in the classroom. From this sentence, am I in the classroom? Yes. Only if I am in the classroom, I can say we are in the classroom. If I am not in the classroom, I should say they are in the classroom. Now I can use the word we only if I am included in that. If I am not included in that, I should use the word they. Got it? So we are in the classroom means I am also in the classroom. They are in the classroom means I am not in the classroom. I am not included in that. Come to the first statement now. He said to me, comma, let's go to a movie. He said to me means, am I included in that or not included? Included. He said to me means I am included in that. So he suggested to me that we should go to a movie. Getting it? Come to the third statement. He suggested to her. He suggested to her, let's take rest. He suggested to her means, am I included or not included? I am not included in that. As I am not included in that, I cannot use the word we, I should use the word they. So he suggested to her that they should take rest. Got it? So this is about a suggestion. Said to becomes suggested to, said becomes suggested that. And we and that they depend on whether I am included or not. Fine? Now we have only one more category left, that is interrogative sentences. That's the only category left. What do you mean by an interrogative sentence? Any sentence that ends with a question mark is termed as an interrogative sentence. Now, I told you the case of voice, active voice, passive voice. In the active voice, if it is an interrogative sentence, in the passive voice also it must be an interrogative sentence. That means, if the sentence in the active voice ends with a question mark, the sentence in the passive voice must also end with a question mark. If there's no question mark in the passive voice, eliminate that option. Question mark in the active voice, question mark in the passive voice. Whereas in the case of speech, a question mark appears only in the direct speech. A question mark appears only in the direct speech. A question mark does not appear in the indirect speech. The indirect speech means reported speech. When we are reporting a question, we cannot go for a question mark. So a sentence in the indirect speech cannot be termed as an interrogative sentence, because a sentence in indirect speech does not end with a question mark. And if you find any sentence in the indirect speech ending with a question mark, without thinking much, eliminate that option. I repeat, a sentence in the indirect speech is not interrogative. It does not end with a question mark. Got it? Now, on converting interrogative sentences from direct to indirect, we have to use if or whether, except in some cases. Now, if can be used for whether, whether can be used for if. I told you this in the exceptions on tenses. If can be used for whether, whether can be used for if. But I told you one more rule. After that, I told you one more rule. Whether can be followed by or not. Whether can be followed by or not. If cannot be followed by or not. Whether can be followed by or not. If cannot be followed by or not. That means if or not is there, it must be whether. Or else if can be followed by whether. If can be used for whether, whether can be used for if. If or not is there, it must be whether, because if cannot be followed by or not. Clear? So as I said, on converting interrogative sentences from direct to indirect, we have to use if or whether, except in some cases. Now, the exception is this. Those cases are these. Listen. When the interrogative sentence starts with a WH word. WH word means what, where, when, why, who, whom, etc. When the interrogative sentence starts with a WH word or how, if or whether should not be used. When the interrogative sentence starts with a WH word or how, if or whether should not be used. When the interrogative sentence starts with an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb means has, have, had, yes, are, am, was, were, can, could, will, shall, etc. When the interrogative sentence starts with an auxiliary verb, if or whether should be used. Anyway, just keep this in mind. When the interrogative sentence starts with a WH word or how, if or whether should not be used, or else if or whether should be used. Got it? I'll take you through some sentences. Come to the first one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, how are you, question mark. This is an interrogative sentence. The reporting verb here is said to. Past tense, the rules are applicable. As it is an interrogative sentence, said to becomes asked. He asked to me is a wrong usage. I told you, asked cannot be followed by that or to. He asked me that is also a wrong usage. And if you find any sentence in the indirect speech with asked followed by that or to, if you find any statement in the indirect speech with asked followed by that or to, eliminate that option, because asked cannot be followed by that or to. Now, he asked me is the same as he inquired of me. I told you this. He inquired me is wrong. He inquired of me is a correct usage. So he asked me is the same as he inquired of me. How are you is tense category is simple present. Are comes only in the present tense. I told you, when you go for a question on speech, the first thing that needs to be done is identifying the tense and the category of the sentence that is given as a question. If you go wrong while identifying that, you will never get the answer. So make sure that you never go wrong while identifying the tense and the category of the sentence that is given as a question. How are you? As you know, are comes only in the present tense. So it must be in one of the four categories of present tense. No ing, so not continuous, not perfect continuous. No has or have plus V3, so not present perfect. The only category left is simple present. So this sentence is in the simple present tense. As per the rule, simple present must become simple past. That is what we have discussed. Said to becomes asked. If or whether should be used or should not be used. Should not be used. Why? Because the interrogative sentence starts with how. So if or whether should not be used. We'll frame this sentence in the indirect speech. He said to me, comma, within quotations, how are you? Question mark. This statement in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me, that is wrong, I told you. He asked me if or whether should not be used. He asked me how you becomes I, because he said to me. So you changes to I. He asked me how I was or how I were. With I, we have to use was. When do we use were with I? Were can be used with I only if a sentence is in the imaginary state, subjunctive mode, if case. Only if a sentence is in the subjunctive mode, we can use were with I. We have gone for this rule in the case of subject, verb, agreement and tenses. Only if a sentence is in the subjunctive mode, we can use were with I. Or else in all the other cases, it must be was with I. So it must be I was. How I was or how was I? If I say, he said to me, how was I? Full stop. I told you, a sentence in the indirect speech cannot be termed as interrogative. Every interrogative sentence must start with a question word, must end with a question mark. A sentence in the indirect speech does not end with a question mark, it ends with a full stop. It is not starting with a question word, it is starting with he. He is not a question word. So a sentence in indirect speech is not an interrogative sentence. If it is not an interrogative sentence, the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. How was I? I is the pronoun here. Was is the auxiliary verb. The auxiliary verb is coming before the pronoun. The auxiliary verb can come before the pronoun only if it is an interrogative sentence. This is not an interrogative sentence. So how was I is wrong. It must be how I was. He asked me how I was. How I was is simple past tense. Was comes only in the present, only in the past tense. No ing, not continuous, not perfect continuous. No had plus V3, so not past perfect. The only category left is simple past. So he asked me how I was. This sentence is grammatically correct. Getting it? Come to next. He said to me, comma, within quotations, what are you doing here? Question mark. What are you doing here? Are you doing is are plus V1 plus ing, present continuous. According to the rule, present continuous must become past continuous. Here becomes there. Present continuous becomes past continuous. Here becomes there. Said to becomes asked. He asked me is the same as he inquired of me. If or whether should be used or should not be used? Should not be used. Because the interrogative sentence is starting with a WH word. So if or whether should not be used. This sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me, what are you doing here? Present continuous must become past continuous. He asked me what, you becomes I, because he said to me. He asked me what I was. What was I is wrong. This is not interrogative. Indirect speech, the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So he asked me what I was doing. Here becomes there. So he asked me what I was doing there. I was doing there is past continuous, grammatically correct. Getting it? And here became there. Come to the next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, have you read this book? Question mark. Interrogative sentence. Have you read is have plus V3. And have plus V3 is present perfect. Present perfect must change to past perfect. This changes to that. If or whether should be used or should not be used? Should be used. Why? Because the interrogative sentence is starting with an auxiliary verb. Now, why because is a wrong usage. If I say she didn't go to school, why? Because she was lazy. Why? Because is a wrong usage because of redundancy. Why is for reason, because is also for reason. I asked you in another way. Why comes in the question, because comes in the answer. I asked you a question. I asked you if or whether should be used. Why? That is a question. As you are not here to answer me, I am giving the answer myself. That's why I said because have is an auxiliary verb. Getting it? You should not use why because together. Why comes in the question, because comes in the answer. So he said to me, have you read this book? Question mark. Present perfect must become past perfect. This must become that. If or whether should be used, because have is an auxiliary verb. The interrogative sentence is not starting with a WH word or how, so if or whether should be used. Said to becomes asked. Now he said to me, they said to him, she said to him, she said to him, we said to them, all these don't matter. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether, anything is fine. He asked me if, have you read this book? You becomes I, because he said to me. He asked me if I had read that book. He asked me if or whether I had read that book. Had I is wrong, it must be I had. Indirect speech is not interrogative. The auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So he asked me if I had read that book. Had read is had plus B3 past perfect. Present perfect became past perfect. This became that, grammatically correct. So you asked me if or whether I had read that book. Grammatically correct. Come to the next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, did you meet her yesterday? Question mark. Did you meet her? Did is V2 and V2 is simple past tense. And as you know, it is always did plus V1 plural. Did you meet? Meet is V1 plural, that is completely fine. V2 is simple past tense. As per the rule, simple past must become past perfect. Yesterday becomes the previous day. If or whether should be used, because the interrogative sentence is starting with an auxiliary verb. It is not starting with a WH word or how, so if or whether should be used. Her remains as her. Why? Because her is a third person here. He said to me means he is a speaker, first person. Speaker is the first person. Me, I am the listener, the second person. She, her, she is a person talked about, the third person. I told you the third person remains the same. If or whether should be used. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether, anything is okay. Did you meet her yesterday? You changes to I, because he said to me. He asked me if I, simple past must become past perfect, whether I had met her. Her remains the same. Yesterday becomes the previous day, whether I had met her the previous day. He asked me if or whether I had met her the previous day. I had met her. Had met is had plus V3 past perfect. Simple past became past perfect. Yesterday's became the previous day, so grammatically correct. He asked me if or whether I had met her the previous day. Getting it? The next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, can you do this for me now? Question mark, interrogative. Now, if or whether should be used, because the interrogative sentence is not starting with a WH word or how. So we have to use if or whether. Can you do this for me? This becomes that. For me now becomes then. If or whether should be used. So we'll frame this sentence in the indirect speech. He said to me, comma, can you do this for me now? Can becomes could. This becomes that. Now becomes then. The past tense of can is could. So this statement in indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether, anything is okay. Either of these two is fine. If or whether, can you becomes I, he said to me. If I could or could I? This is not interrogative, so the auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. So it cannot be could I, it must be I could. He asked me if I could do or could did. It's always could plus V1 plural. Could come, could go, could teach, could sit, could stand, etc. So I could do that for me becomes him, because he said to me, can you do this? Can you do this for me now? So me changes to him. He asked me if or whether I could do that for him then. He asked me if I could do that for him then. I could do that for him then. Can became could. This became that. Now became then. Grammatically correct. Right? Could I is wrong, I said. I could, not interrogative. The auxiliary verb is coming after the pronoun. That is also fine. This statement is grammatically correct. He asked me if or whether I could do that for him then. Got it? The next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, will you help me or not? Question mark. Will becomes would, not should. Will becomes would. If or whether should be used, should not be used, should be used. Because the interrogative sentence is not starting with a WH word or how. So we have to use if or whether. In this case, if or whether is fine or only whether is fine. In this case, we cannot use if, because as I told you, if cannot be followed by or not. So or not is there in this statement. So in this sentence, it cannot be if, it must be whether. Whether can be followed by or not. If cannot be followed by or not. Will becomes would. If or whether, whether should be used. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me whether, not if, because or not is there. He asked me whether, now will you help me or not? You changes to me because he said to me. He asked me whether I would I is wrong. The auxiliary verb must come after the pronoun, not interrogative. Whether I would help him, me changes to him, whether I would help him or not. So he asked me whether I would help him or not. So whether is followed by or not, that is completely fine. Will changes to would, that is also completely fine. He asked me, asked to me is wrong, grammatically right. So he asked me whether I would help him or not. Would help is wrong. There's nothing like would plus V2, would plus V3. It's always would plus V1 plural and help is V1 plural. All the concepts are satisfied here. This sentence is grammatically correct. He asked me whether I would help him or not. Come to the next. He said to me, comma, within quotations, who are you? Question mark. Who are you is simple present. It must become simple past. If or whether should not be used because the interrogative sentence is starting with a WH word. Simple present must become simple past. This sentence, the indirect speech becomes, he asked me who I. You changes to I. He said to me. I were is wrong. I told you there's no imagination here. It is I was. So he asked me who I was. He asked me who I was. And I was is simple past tense. Simple present became simple past. Grammatically correct. He asked me who I was. Got it? Come to the next one. He says to me, comma, within quotations, the same sentence, who are you? Question mark. What is the reporting verb here? The reporting verb in this sentence is says to. Which tense? Present tense. The rules are not applicable. I told you the rules are applicable only if the reporting verb is in the past tense. If the reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, the tense and the category of the sentence must remain the same. Who are you is simple present. So indirect speech also it must remain as simple present. I told you earlier, said to becomes told. In the case of a normal statement, assertive sentence, said to becomes told. Says to becomes tells. Say to becomes tell. I told you this earlier. Now, if it is interrogative, if it is an interrogative sentence, said to becomes asked. If it is interrogative, said to becomes asked. Says to becomes asked. ASKS. Said is past tense, asked is also past tense. Says is present tense, asked is also present tense. Says to becomes asked. Say to becomes ask. The only difference is says is singular, ask is also singular, say is plural, ask is also plural. So if it is interrogative, said to becomes asked, says to becomes asked, say to becomes ask. Clear? Now come to this. He says to me, comma within quotations, the same statement, who are you, question mark. The reporting verb is says to, present tense. As you know, the rules are not applicable. Then one more thing, we cannot change the tense of the reporting verb. The tense of the reporting verb should not be changed. Who are you is simple present. In the indirect speech also it must be simple present. So this sentence in the indirect speech becomes, he asks me. Says to becomes asks. He asks me, if or whether should not be used. WH word. He asks me who, you becomes I. Who I am is so are. We cannot use is so are with I. Am is used with I. So he asks me who I am. He asks me who I am. Who I am is simple present. In the direct speech, simple present. In the indirect speech also simple present. Grammatically correct. Getting it? So you see the reporting verb. You see the reporting verb is in which tense before starting to apply the rules. So he asks me who I am. Getting it? The next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, have they been working hard? Question mark. Have they been working hard is have plus been plus V1 plus ing. And have plus been plus V1 plus ing is present perfect continuous. According to the rule, present perfect continuous must become past perfect continuous. They remains the same. The pronoun they remains the same because the pronoun they is a third person here. He said to me, he is the first person, me, I am the second person, they, the person talked about becomes the third person, the people talked about. They remains the same. Present perfect continuous must become past perfect continuous. If or whether should be used because the interrogative sentence is starting with an auxiliary verb. It is not starting with a WH word or how. So we will frame this sentence in the indirect speech. Said to is the reporting verb, past tense, the rules are applicable. So this statement in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether either of these two is fine. He asked me if or whether have they been working hard. We want in the past perfect continuous tense. He asked me if they had they is wrong. This is not interrogative. The auxiliary verb must come after the noun or pronoun. He asked me if they had been working hard. He asked me if they had been working hard. Now they had been working hard is had plus been plus V1 plus ing, past perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous became past perfect continuous, grammatically correct. So he asked me if or whether they had been working hard. Come next one. He said to me, comma within quotations, was she honest? Question mark. The reporting verb is said to, past tense, the rules are applicable. Was she honest? What's the tense and category? Simple past tense. Was comes only in the past tense. No ing, not continuous, not perfect continuous. No had plus V3, so not past perfect. The only category left is simple past. And as per the rule, simple past must become past perfect. Past perfect structure is had plus V3. Now here V3 means the main verb, action in the third form. Was she honest? There is no main verb here. To frame it in the past perfect tense, we need a main verb because past perfect is had plus V3. I have told you long back in the case of tenses, subjunctive agreement, conditions tense and all. In the perfect tense, after has, have and had, what appears? V3 appears. In the perfect tense, after has, have and had, V3 appears. If there is no V3 after has, have or had, then been acts as a main verb in the V3 form. If there is no V3 after has, have or had, then been acts as a main verb in the V3 form. We have gone for sentences like this before. Now come to this. He said to me, comma, was she honest? Simple past must become past perfect if or whether should be used because it's not starting with the WH word or who. So this statement in the indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether. She remains the same. The third person remains the same. He asked me whether she had been honest. He asked me whether or if she had been honest. Now she had been honest. Had been is had plus V3 and had plus V3 is past perfect. Simple past became past perfect. This sentence is grammatically correct. He asked me if or whether she had been honest. Getting it? Come to the next one. He said to me, comma, within quotations, had they been trying to help you? Had they been trying to help you is had plus been plus V1 plus ing. Had plus been plus V1 plus ing is past perfect continuous. According to the rule, past perfect continuous remains unchanged. Means past perfect continuous remains as past perfect continuous. If or whether should be used because it is starting with an auxiliary verb. They remains the same because they is the third person here. The pronoun they is the third person. We'll go for it in the indirect speech. So he said to me, had they been trying to help you? So this sentence in the you becomes me because he said to me. This statement in indirect speech becomes, he asked me if or whether. They remains the same. If or whether, if they had been trying to help me. You changes to me. So he asked me whether they had been trying to help me. They had been trying is had plus been plus V1 plus ing, and had plus been plus V1 plus ing is past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous remains the same. This statement is grammatically correct. Not interrogative, the auxiliary verb is coming after the pronoun. So he asked me if or whether they had been trying to help me. Getting it? Come to the next one. We'll go for these two sentences together. Come to the first one now. I'll explain these two together. He said to me, comma, shall I sit here? Question mark. He said to me, comma, within quotations, I shall sit here, full stop. I told you, both will and shall become would, because the past tense of both will and shall is would. So in the direct speech, if it is will or shall, I said, in the indirect speech, you make it would. Right. Come to the first one. He said to me, comma, shall I sit here? Interrogative, question mark. If or whether should be used. Then here becomes there. He said to me, shall I sit here? I'll go for this sentence in the indirect speech. Interrogative, so said to becomes asked. He asked me if or whether anything is okay. He asked me if or whether. He asked me, said to me, comma, shall I sit here? So I changes to he, because he said to me, I changes to he. He asked me if he should sit there. I'll tell you why. He asked me if he should sit there. Come to the second one. He said to me, comma, I shall sit here, full stop, not interrogative. This is a normal statement, assertive sentence. So said to changes to told. He told me that. He told me that. Told me, that is a correct usage. I becomes he because he said to me. He told me that he would sit there. He told me that he would sit there. As I said, both will and shall become would. Come to the first statement. I changed shall to should. Understand. He said to me, comma, shall I sit here? Question mark, interrogative. When shall is used in a sentence to seek permission. When shall is used in a sentence to seek permission. Permission means interrogative, right? Like, shall I sit here? Question mark. Shall we go there? Question mark. Shall we play? Question mark. Shall we learn? Question mark. So when shall is used in a sentence to seek permission, that means interrogative. That shall changes to should. This is the rule. When shall is used in a statement to seek permission, that means interrogative. That shall changes to should. Now come to the first statement, this sentence once again. He said to me, comma, shall I sit here? Question mark. In this sentence, shall is used to seek permission because interrogative. That shall must change to should. So he asked me if or whether he should sit there. Got it? And it's always should plus V1 plural. Nothing like should plus V2 or should plus V3. Should sit is should plus V1 plural. That is also completely fine. Grammatically correct. Come to the next one. He said to me, comma, I shall sit here, full stop. In this sentence, is shall used to seek permission? No. Why? There's no question mark here. So in this statement, shall is not used to seek permission. So no change in the rule. Shall becomes would. He told me that he would sit there. Grammatically correct. Got it? So only when shall is used to seek permission, that means interrogative, that shall changes to should. Or else in all the other cases, shall becomes would. Getting it? Come to the next one. He said to them, comma, open quotations, are you fine? Question mark, comma, and they said, comma, open quotations, yes, comma, we are fine, full stop, we are, full stop, close quotations. Come to the second one. He said to them, comma, open quotations, are you fine? Question mark, close quotations, comma, and they said, sorry, and they said, no, comma, we are not, full stop, close quotations. Now in both the cases, the question and the answer are given. In the first case, are you fine is a question, yes we are is the answer. In the second case, are you fine is a question, no we are not is the answer. So in both the cases, the question and the answer are given. And if the question and the answer both are given, and if the answer is yes, indirect speech must say, replied in the affirmative. The question and the answer both are given, and if the answer is yes, indirect speech must say, replied in the affirmative. If the answer is no, the indirect speech must say, replied in the negative. If the answer is yes, the indirect speech must say, replied in the affirmative. If the answer is no, the indirect speech must say, replied in the negative. Now come to the first one. Come to the first part of the sentence. Are you fine? We will do up to are you fine. He said to them, she said to them, comma, within quotations, are you fine? Question mark. Are you fine? Question mark is an interrogative sentence. Are you fine is simple present. Simple present must become simple past. Said to becomes asked. If or whether should be used because the interrogative sentence is starting with an auxiliary verb, not a WH word or who. So if or whether should be used. Simple present must become simple past. So we'll frame the first part. The first part becomes, she asked them if or whether anything is okay. If are you fine, you changes to they. Now the pronoun you is both singular and plural. The sentence says, she said to them. So you changes to they. She asked them if or whether they were fine. They were fine. Are you fine is simple present. Simple present must become simple past. They were fine is simple past. So up to here, completely fine. So she asked them if they were fine, comma, and they said, comma, within quotations, yes we are. They said, there is a reply given by them. So said changes to replied. As there is a reply given by them, said changes to reply. So, and they replied. Said changes to replied. They said yes. They said yes in the sense, replied in the affirmative. And they replied in the affirmative. We are is simple present. Simple present must become simple past. They said we are. So they changes to, they said we are. So we changes to they. And they said, replied in the affirmative. They, simple present must become simple past. They were, full stop. They were means they were fine. Yes, we are means we are fine. Fine is understood here. So she asked them if they were fine, comma, and they replied in the affirmative, they were. Simple present became simple past. Here also simple present became simple past. Now the question, we have already discussed it. The question and the answer must be in the same tense, the same category. The tense and the category of the question and the answer must be the same. The question is in simple present, the answer is also in simple present, completely fine. This statement is grammatically correct. She asked me if they were fine, comma, and they replied in the affirmative, yes, they were. Come to the next one. She said to them, are you fine? The first part remains the same. The first part is the same in fact. So she asked them, if or whether they were fine. The first part remains the same, comma, and they said here becomes replied, as you know, because it's a reply given by them. So and they replied, said becomes replied. They said no. They said no in the sense replied in the negative, and they replied in the negative. We are not. We changes to they because they said. We are not is simple present. Simple present must become simple past. And they replied in the negative. They were not. Simple present became simple past. Here also simple present became simple past. So she asked them if or whether they were fine, comma, and they replied in the negative because they said no. They replied in the negative. We are not changes to they replied in the negative. They were not, grammatically. So if the question and the answer both are given, think about this rule. If the answer is yes, it must be replied in the affirmative. If the answer is no, it must be replied in the negative. Got it? So these are the rules that appear in the topic speech. We'll go for an exercise on the same topic. We'll discuss every option based only on the concepts that we have gone for now. Got it? Now, as I said, the main thing is identifying the tense in the category of a sentence that is given as the question. The meaning should remain the same. The tense in the category change. While converting, the meaning should remain the same. The tense in the category change, except in some cases. I have told you about the exceptions as well. Fine? Thank you.